Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, today we're going to be talking about the top 5 gear items that we reviewed in 2024. So we did over 120 videos so far this year, which is crazy, but it's true. They add up over time, it turns out. And most of those are either going to be gun or gear reviews. We are not talking guns today. We're just talking gear. So any item that we reviewed that is not a firearm and the review posted since January 1st, 2024 until now, any of those items are eligible for the top 5 list. And the criteria for it is very subjective. It's my channel, so I get to make the list. And so basically, to be on the list, the item had to do something different, do something better, or be a new type of product that didn't exist on the market before. Something that just stands out to me, if you will. So there's a lot of gear items that we reviewed this year that aren't going to make the list. Obviously, just math. It is what it is. It doesn't mean those are bad. It just means I think these ones are exceptional for one way or another, and hopefully I'll explain what that criteria is while rather talking about them. So without further ado, without enough yapping by me, the first item that we're going to talk about is going to be this guy right here. Looks like a weapon light. That is because it is. However, this one's very different than most of what we've seen on the market for 2 primary reasons. And what is it? First, I suppose I should say that this is a Streamlight rail mount HLX Pro. So the big differentiator in this product versus other competitive offerings out there is twofold. So number one is 1000 lumens, which is not exceptional in 2024. It would have been years ago. However, it's 50,000 candela. That is exceptional. It's still exceptional. There are other high candela lights. However, it still gives you, because it's 1000 lumen and 50,000 candela, it gives you a great beam pattern for just about every type of use. And it also gives you the ability to take longer range shots than you would with a light that had less candela. Additionally, it does it at a price point that is just insane. So some of these items will be eligible for sale, and if I can link to them wherever they may be, they will be down below in the video description. If not, check this video out over on X or over on Rumble, and over there definitely will be links to pick these up for the cheapest that I know of anywhere on those sites. So this thing has a rechargeable battery, which is nice alone. Additionally, it has this tail cap that you see here, which works basically with just pressing this button, and obviously it has different modes as well. You can program it via Streamlight's 10-tap programmable system, which is nice. So you can have high strobe, you can have any number of different interfaces on it, which certainly is something a lot of folks like. However, if you just want to work the tail cap, we have that tail cap there. The tail cap is shrouded as well to prevent from negligent light discharges. And then it also has the option to be used with a switch. So it has that port there for switches. And most of your common mil-spec switches on there will work, which is something that has been different from many Streamlight offerings over the years. And then it also comes with 2 different mounts. So we have the M-Lock mount there, the M-Lock offset mount, but it also fits on any any Surefire Scout mount. And again, the price point and the quality that you get for this light, as well as the output, really is what makes it on this list. So this thing all day is coming in under $150, and when you compare it to other competitive options that are on the market, most of those are going to be $250 and up. And a lot of people have a hard time spending that kind of money for a flashlight, which I totally get, especially when there are really good ones like this one out there for far less out there on the market. So that is going to be the first one up. These lists rather is not in order. So like the last one isn't the best, this one isn't the 5th, if that makes sense. So with that, let's move on. The next item that we're going to talk about here is going to be this suppressor. This is the Jolene S from the folks over at Resilient. It is a fantastic 30 cal suppressor. It doesn't look all that remarkable on the surface because you guys aren't holding it. That's why it doesn't look remarkable. If you were actually holding this, you would realize how insanely light it is, and the performance that you get out of it just makes it even more incredible of a product in my personal opinion. So they have the Jolene, which is the full-size version, which just has a few more baffles in it. And then the Jolene S, which is this guy here, 30 cal, both cans. And they are insanely light. I should be putting the weight up here on your screen, but given that suppressors mount on the end of your barrel, that is the place where weight is the most important, just due to physics. So when you're holding the gun out, if you have a heavy suppressor on the end of it, it really does tire you out, and over time will make your shots less accurate. That's just, how humans work. But this thing gave great sound reduction numbers. Also though, the big thing is going to be the weight, and it's not insanely expensive. I mean, it's not inexpensive, but it's not like it, costs $3,000 or anything like that. It is affordable for most folks who are looking to get into a suppressor. Of course, it is 30 cal, meaning that it also will work with any of the calibers that are smaller than that. So it's really a versatile suppressor for the money. And again, the weight is what makes this thing make this list. It is stupid light, and the performance isn't sacrificed rather in any way, unless you were thinking about putting it on a belt fed, which I'm sure most of you guys aren't, unfortunately, due to the way the laws in this country work. It is a fantastic performer. The next gear item that is going to make the list is going to be the Trijicon RCR. So this one is notable because it is the first all-American made handgun mounted optic that is going to be fully enclosed. Of course, it also uses the RMR footprint, which is something that most folks thought was impossible until this thing came out. However, the engineers over at Trijicon were able to make it happen. Now, the good news is it is out, it is on the market. The bad news is these things are pretty much always sold out because they are very popular, and it's something that a lot of people wanted. It has that 3.5 MOA dot, which is kind of the sweet spot for most people. Me personally, I tend to like a 3 to 7 MOA dot. That's kind of where I like it. But if you guys want it smaller, hey, let Trijicon know. Maybe they will make a 1 MOA dot. If you want it bigger, let Trijicon know. Maybe they'll make an 8 MOA dot. Regardless, most folks are pretty happy with 3.25 MOA dot, as well as the battery life on this thing, 50,000 hours. Mine is still running on the original battery that it came in, and I should state that I actually had mine for months before the release. So I've had it for over a year, and still going on the same battery. I've never turned it down, nothing like that. The actual clarity through the glass is very good. It's very good under night vision, and again, is made in America and uses the RMR footprint. Those are the two things that sell the optic to the public. That's what makes people want it. A lot of folks don't want foreign-made optics on their guns, and if that's the case and you want it to be fully enclosed, well, there's literally one option, and that is it. It was never available before, and in 2024 they made it happen. So the RCR absolutely makes the list. The next item on the top 5 list is going to be the smallest item on the list, and that is going to be this guy right here. This is the Sig Sauer Foxtrot 2R compact weapon light. And again, what makes this different? What makes it stand out? Well, number one, its size. Just to kind of give you a size comparison here, that is the Streamlight that we talked about earlier. That's the little Foxtrot 2R. Very small, very compact. It's going to fit on most of your compact firearms. However, it'll also fit on your full-size ones if you guys want to use it on that. But the thing that separates it from all the competition, especially when I did my review, we'll get to that here in a second, is the output on it. So it's 700 lumens, which is pretty good in terms of total overall lumens. However, it is 20,000 candela. So this thing is impressive. 20,000 candela is just about what you're getting with your Streamlight TLR1 HL, the full-size light that is literally the most common weapon light in America. You're getting that same performance in terms of candela with this little light here. It also has a few other things going for it. You have the ability to change where your where your rail is going to be, so you can move the light forward or back on your gun to be in the position that you want it to be to activate the switches. The switches are also very good. Sig's got that right on the Foxtrot. And then of course you change your battery out by switching out the head here on the light. And the price point on this is also very good as well, making it just a fantastic gun. Now, when this came out, the Streamlight TLR7 HLX wasn't out yet. Now, that is a product that I'm currently reviewing right now at the moment. Will that be on next year's list? I'm not sure. However, it competes very closely in terms of output with this light, and as far as I know, it's the only light on the market that even comes close to this. So testing is still underway there. I can't say if it's good to go yet. We have a lot of rounds to fire before we get there. However, I have fired untold numbers of rounds with this mounted up on several different handguns, and we've had zero issues of any kind, zero flickering, zero battery dying for no reason, all the things that happen with weapon lights. This thing is solid, and it's at a solid price point as well. So with that, we have one more thing to get to. Before we get on to the last item, we do need to take an administrative break and thank the main channel sponsor, and that, of course, is the folks over at Brownells. Most of you are probably familiar with Brownells. However, if you are not, they have basically everything that we've talked about in this video, that we've shown in this video, and other stuff over there. So guns, gear, optics, ammunition, gunsmithing supplies, all of those things are over there at Brownells. They've been a big supporter of the channel here for quite a while, and we definitely appreciate their support. Very easy to work with them. Great people, great prices, makes it easy. So there is that. Now back to the video. And the last item on the top 5 list of 2024 gear reviewed here on the channel is actually this suppressor right here. It's been sitting in the video the entire time. You guys didn't even notice it, but obviously we have it mounted up here on the Geissele Super Duty Mod 1 AR pistol. But this, in fact, is the Huxwrx Flow 762. So why is it on the list? Well, number one, it's one of the quietest, if not the quietest, flow through 30 cal suppressor I've ever tested. Decibel numbers on this are phenomenal. It is super lightweight. It's also very rugged, very durable, and it has almost no. The folks over at Huxwrx say it has a 1% increased back pressure when you're actually firing it. It's imperceivable though to the shooter. So the actual back pressure and all the bad things that come with that, you simply don't get with this suppressor. And additionally, the size and weight is very good as well. It's hard to believe that it comes in with the size and weight that it has and it performs as well as it does, but it does. And for those of you guys who are new here and you guys haven't watched my suppressor videos, I'm one of the few guys on YouTube who actually has a mil-spec decibel meter. They're very expensive, they're prohibitively expensive, but we did invest in one several years ago. And the numbers that you see on this thing for, again, the volume of this can, just insane. Huxwrx absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Of course, it mounts up on their Huxwrx standard mounts. So if you have one in 5.56, then you can mount the 7.62 on there. So it's also very versatile in that regard. It's slightly larger than its 5.56 competitor, if you will. So if you want a even more compact but still performing just as well 5.56 option, that is out there. I believe that was on last year's top 5 list, but they are very good design overall. And again, virtually no back pressure, which is what is so nice. And for those who are new, why is back pressure a big deal? It's a huge deal because number one, it increases the speed that your rifle is going to cycle, which increases the wear on your parts, which increases the amount of gunk, if you will, that gets in your system. It also decreases the life of those parts. So it also puts cancer-causing gases into your face, which is something you don't want. So for all of those reasons, you don't want back pressure if you can get away with it. Now, there's sometimes that back pressure is actually fairly helpful, but that's a video for another day. But in most cases, 99% of cases, it's not what you want. Huxwrx absolutely delivered here with this one. We actually, after the review, went out and got one in black as well because it's that good that I wanted to have another one. So excellent suppressor. And the downside of it, if there is one, which there absolutely is going to be it's not cheap. So it is not an inexpensive suppressor. Unfortunately, in this case, to get the kind of performance that this thing offers, they're really the only game in town that I'm aware of, and it's not inexpensive. Obviously, that 3D printing technology for the materials used in this can is not cheap either. I'm sure that machine costs a lot of money, and the folks at Huxwrx have to recoup that cost somehow, but I'm okay with it. If you have the budget for it, and you have to have the need for it, one of the best 7.62 or 30 cal cans out there on the market, in my opinion. It's just fantastic. The only thing it doesn't do well, which I mentioned in the video, and I suppose I should bring up now, is subsonic 300 blackout is not as quiet with this can as some other offerings on the market. Of course, it's still really quiet, but supersonic 300 blackout, 308, 5.56, any of those calibers, 6.5 Creedmoor, they're going to be as quiet as basically anything else out there on the market with this suppressor. Again, it is a phenomenal suppressor. So with that, guys, we're going to close the video out. The top 5 video of gear reviewed in 2025. It's been a great year here on the channel. We've had some interesting suppression of our content, I guess we could say, on several different platforms. However, we've also had exceptional growth on Truth and Twitter, which has been great, and those places are places that are not censoring us. Of course, you can follow me on any of my social media right now, but those definitely are the ones that I recommend because the things I actually put up, people are actually able to see. What a crazy concept. So additionally, guys, if you guys like this video, if you're subscribed and you want to see more of this content and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, then you are being censored from by an algorithm from my content, rather. As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we put up 120 videos this year, so we're putting them up consistently. And for whatever reason, if you are not seeing them, super easy way to get around that is to sign up for the email list here at the website on your screen. This list will get you signed up for 2 different distro lists. So one will sign you up for the monthly email, and that email goes out once a month, and it has all the videos since the previous month's email went out. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring you from my content. What a concept. And then additionally, it will get you signed up for the daily deals email as well. That email goes out every day, as the name indicates, and it has generally speaking, 8, 10 of the best deals that we find around the internet. If the item, whatever it is, ammo, optics, guns, whatever, if that item is in the email on a given day, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere on the internet for that item on that day. So that way, hopefully, it saves you some time and saves you some money, because I've already done the comparisons for you. We also have a good meme in there that everybody likes, Pro 2A memes. You can sign up just for the meme if you want. I'm fine with that. I will allow it. And lastly, we do have an SMS service that is relatively new here on the channel. You can sign up for that at the website here on your screen. That goes out at most once a day, but generally not every day. And it has either the best deal that we find on guns and gear, or it has a new video dropping, once again, letting you guys actually see my content without a censorship algorithm in there. Additionally, if you guys are signed up for the SMS text message, we are doing a monthly live Q&A session where the link to that video to get on there to ask your questions goes out via SMS only. No other way to get on that list, no other way to see that link. So if you guys are interested in that, asking me, Q&A questions in a setting rather that is not huge like the actual channel in terms of numbers, that is the way to do it. Speaking of that, we're going into 2025, and by the looks of it, very likely we are going to hit 1 million subscribers this year, and that's just crazy to me. I've mentioned this in several videos before, but I appreciate every single one of you more than you guys could ever know. You guys enable all of this to be possible. I'm just the guy who talks on my porch to a camera, which would be really weird if no one watched. So you guys do watch, and you guys support what we do here, and I am forever grateful to you guys for that. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, I think we'll close it out. Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope the best for all of you guys as well in 2025.